Day 32. How y'all doing? It's been a few days since my last post. It's I just noticed I was looking through my analytics. Not really my analytics, but just like my past videos. And the last few videos I had no views whatsoever. And I don't know, like it's not gonna stop me necessarily from posting my content, right? However, it means I have to switch things up as I've been meaning to do. Um, I guess the YouTube algorithm isn't really pushing myself because it realizes nobody really wants to watch this this content, I guess, for now. Kind of a bummer if that's what it is, but if not, I just sometimes you just gotta persevere. You actually gotta try, and because sometimes it may seem like you're losing, but really you're winning. Because, like for today, for instance, right? I showed up. You know, I could have shown up the last few days as well, yes, but here I am, God willing. Alhamdulillah. All praise to God for this. So, yep, it's all good. Doesn't matter. We're still gonna keep pushing. It's gonna be very interesting to see. Honestly, it's really gonna be fascinating to look back at these moments when it's just the complete 180 as far as everything. Just my position in life, whether for better or for worse, because in it can always get worse. But thank God, it's good. We got I might be in China in the next video. So you never know. You never know. I don't see why I would be in China, but I might be in China. Or I might be in China next year, or Japan. Wherever, man. Thailand. So, yeah, and then just looking back to these moments like this. And I'm sure that at that point when I start to gain some traction when it comes to my social media post, and people turn to get to know me a little bit better, right? My face becomes more familiar, etc. And people start using short clips to post as a content of their own, whether it's for an agenda or not. I mean, that depends. Like it can, I'm sure the things I've said, some of the things can be manipulated and put out of context 100%. I think you can do that with any content out there if you're truly being authentic and trying to be as truthful as you can be without endangering anyone, including yourself. Like, I'm not gonna say my address, even though I'm sure there's some hacker out there that could find out, right? Not sure why that would happen, or why would anyone want to find out where I live. But you never know. There's some people that know where I live, but besides that, I'm not gonna that's a little bit too authentic. Like, I'm not gonna go as far as that. I mean, there's some other things that I haven't been as comfortable to talk about. I've talked about a lot of uncomfortable things already with you guys and gals. Um, yeah, but life is just like an onward. It's just continuous cycle of trials and tribulations. There's gonna be more moments where in my life where I come across situations where I feel the same way about a certain thing that I'm doing, and it puts me in a position of being vulnerable. So, shit happens. But these lessons that we learn when we are in that state and we persevere and get out, right? We come out the other end into the light. You, I guess, in a metaphoric or figurative sense, you get a badge of honor, a badge of whatever, right? And it's a lesson that you get to carry for the rest of your life, which is fascinating. And then you get to share that through via social media outlets, or someone personally comes up to you, be like, hey, I'm dealing with this, man, I got this going on. And then you recall back to the moment when you were dealing with the same thing, and you teach that person, and you start to become a teacher, essentially, which is a privileged position. It's a very important position as well. So yeah, it's been this journey's been pretty cool. I don't mind doing this. I'm only like 39, 40 videos in, which that's not enough. I gotta really start pushing out a lot more content if I want to see like some results, come in. If I'm posting here and there, I feel like that's just on me, right? So the no views on my previous videos, I completely understand why that is. And really, it's all me to do what I can to try as hard as I can to find a way, because I know it can be done. I know that I can set myself up in this industry. This industry meaning like this, in the broad scheme of videos that get uploaded every single day. I'm sure it's like billions, right? Billions of hours or minutes or whatever. To stand out, to build a community, to find the people that fit in your community, that resonate with your message and you as a person. That is a very tricky situation, considering all things, right? Because we live at a time where attention is very, not only valuable but very fragile. Like most people, and even me, including me, at times, you can't focus for shit on something, and you're continuously in the what's next mentality. IG scrolling or whatever. So, and having to find a way to stand out, it makes it quite a challenge. A challenge that's worth accepting and pursuing, and You know, I'm gonna figure this thing out. I think YouTube is gonna be a little bit harder to build that sort of community because I think I need to start chopping these videos up and maybe not specifically the rant videos, even though I'm sure there's some entertaining moments that or points of topic that I talk about in these videos that can be cut into shorter format and uploaded, which, you know, that's one way I can do it. Or I can just post some stuff that, you know, I guess people are willing to sit down and watch. For me personally, I've already mentioned this. The rant videos, they're really cool. I like doing them. However, I'll tell you the reason after I explain. However, it's not the most, considering that the attention is such a valuable asset, right? And people have so much a little attention to give to something. And when they see a person that not a lot of people already, I mean, a person that has 3 subscribers, thank you guys and gals, almost no views on his every other video. Very little people are gonna be like, hey, I want to sit down for 20 minutes and just hear what this man has to say. I'm sure there's someone out there that would do that, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you for. I honestly don't know how you do it, but if you do, if there is someone watching my video, you just leave a comment. And yeah, I don't see that happening on a mass scale. So that's when you gotta bring out the big guns. You gotta switch up the technique. You gotta, you know, swindle your dindle. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to come up with a phrase. There's a phrase for this. You gotta dance. You gotta adapt. And I will adapt. So I don't think I will be stop doing these. I also was gonna mention the reason I was doing these rant videos primarily is so I can hear myself back and watch myself back to then analyze and reapply how I show up, how I communicate, how I phrase certain statements. I'm not already the best at it. I'm not the best at it. I mean, I'm sure you could tell, like, there's moments where I stutter, right? Um, using filler words like all of is basically to eliminate and make myself better in those areas in my communication, essentially, to be able to use my body to also portray a message that makes the message more engaging, even if I'm just talking about some bullshit, right? Second of all, I always had an interest, or at least I feel like I'm pretty good at talking to people. So doing like a podcast wouldn't be far fetched for me, and this is kind of helping me prepare for that as well. I do understand that I have to be a little bit more prepared in terms of having a guest. Maybe, or maybe we can just like YOLO it as well. I think Joe Rogan, I don't think Joe Rogan ever really prepares. He just brings the guest on, and I'm sure he does a little bit of research depending on the guest he has on, right? Like if he has a guest that's super into, I don't know, space technology, I feel like he would read some of that person's book or whatnot, learn a little bit more about space and be in that mindset or be in that open mindset to, you know, receiving information and then conversing with the gentleman or the lady. So, yeah, I don't think Chris Williamson, he definitely prepares. You always see him use notes, and which is very professional and also very organized. I guess for me, I would do the same thing, kind of like Joe does. Honestly, who knows? I might be on one of his podcasts one day. Maybe. You never know. It'll be an interesting day. I do look forward to it. I hope I'm not. I hope he's still around when that time comes. So you never know. That's the thing about life. Life is so full of surprises. I know it's easy to get stuck on a routine and then life starts to feel repetitive and seemingly fast paced because of the repetitiveness. However, when you start to do things and when you start to put yourself in situations where it's not the norm, your brain is actually taking more of the moment in, and you get to realize or you get to remember these things more vividly versus someone that just lived the same day for 20, 30 years and they're on that 30th year, right? And they look back 20, 30 years, whatever that time was, doing the repetitive thing, and they wonder where time went. And I think that's the main reason why a lot of people that go into the corporate world, um, there's a lot of people that work at my job as a driver for UPS for 20, 30 years. I know it's a little bit different every day, but it's basically the same thing. And especially if you have a route, you're basically doing the same thing. So I'd imagine for people that are in that situation, life just seems to be more fast paced, seemingly, even though it's not. Because we start to settle in, into the same house, get married, have kids, routine, essentially. So, but we'll see what life can do for us. All you have to do is just, do what you can do, and life will just, do what life does. So, thank you for listening. Once again, I don't know how long this video was, but it's up there. I can't read that. But thank you for joining me. I think I said day 31 or day 32 maybe, but one of those. And yeah, y'all take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.